Hello and welcome to part 2 of my ranking Doctor Who series from worst to best. In part 1 we looked at my least favourite 7 series, and in part 2 we're going to look at my favourite series. So with that out of the way, let's continue with the list. In 7th place I put the 2009 and I suppose technically the 2010 specials. Now these specials consisted of 4 stories, which were The Next Doctor, Planet of the Dead, Waters of Mars and The End of Time. And I think if we count all of them, we put all the good ones and the bad ones together, I do think we get a really mixed pot, if you will. I think my favourite episode by far of these is The Waters of Mars. It does something that is so simple, which is just putting humans and get them on Mars. Simple, but they do it so well, it's just incredible to watch. The weakest special for me would have to be Planet of the Dead. I think it was the Easter special. I can't even remember the girl's name, but the girl who wanted to be a companion, she was a bit mixed, a little bit annoying, but she was also quite good at times. But it did set up the arc for the Master being to kill the Doctor, which was in the End of Time, the last special, which I think was alright at the end of it. The first special, however, The Next Doctor, I thought was decent, to be honest. I think I like it more than most people do. Just the idea of Doctor Who, like the TV show, fooling people by calling an episode The Next Doctor when David Tennant already announced leave. I think it was a really good idea, and I think they executed it pretty well, to be honest. So yeah, I think the specials very, very, very middle. Of course, that's why they pretty much are in the middle of the list. But yeah, I do think that some of them are underrated, and of course, The End of Time, in my opinion, is quite overrated. In number 6, I put Series 10. Series 10, I think, is clearly Peter Capaldi's best season. He fits into the Doctor perfectly at this point. Bill and Nardole are such really good additions to the TARDIS team, especially with Capaldi's Doctor. But it's still not too great of a series, really. Like, I'm not going to talk about the Monk trilogy, otherwise I'd be here for days, but it's a 3-part story that didn't need to be 3 parts, didn't even need to happen at all. It's awful. Yeah, there are 6 episodes, however, that I love in the series, which are The Pilot, Smile, Thin Ice, and Knock Knock, I believe it's called. Now, those 4 episodes are, of course, the opening of the series, and I think that this series does open with these 4 episodes the best way it possibly could. They are so good episodes, in my opinion. They're so good. And the other 2 episodes I want to talk about is the finale, which is World Enough and Time and The Doctor Falls. Both episodes, I think, are astonishing. I do prefer World Enough and Time a little bit, but I really do like The Doctor Falls as well. It was the first ever Doctor Who episode that I watched live on air. I just finished Series 9 at that point, and I had no idea what was happening. So at the end, when it showed the first Doctor and 12 meeting for Twice Upon a Time, and 12 started to regenerate, I was like, hang on a second, I don't know about this. Bear in mind I was only 8, I had no idea that I'd skipped the series. Oh yeah, the finale also got John Sims Master, which I think I do like a lot. I think he's the best in World Enough and Time, definitely, and Doctor Falls, definitely the best in this and than all of his others. And they also got the Mondasian Cybermen, which, the Mondasian Cybermen, they're great, they always will be great, they always have been great. Can't go wrong with Mondasian Cybermen at all. So yeah, World Enough and Time is probably my favourite episode from this. My least favourite is, I don't want to talk about the Monk trilogy, yeah. Starting off our top 5 section is going to be the first Russell T Davies series on this list and the first David Tennant series on this list, which is going to be Series 2. Now, like I said, I think Series 2 is easily Russell's, David's and Billy Piper's worst series in Doctor Who, but it's still good. Yes, I think the series opened on quite a weak episode, which that being New Earth, but I think overall the series is honestly quite good. You got episodes like The School Reunion, Rise of the Cybermen, Age of Steel, The Impossible Planet, The Satan Pit. You've got the Series 2 finale. I actually do quite like Love and Monsters as well. I know it's literally been like made as the worst episodes of Series 2, but I really do enjoy it because it's supposed to be stupid, it's supposed to be funny. As long as you don't take it seriously, it's really good. However, another thing I didn't really like in this series was the romantic interest between the Doctor and Rose. I believe that the Doctor could fall in love easily, that's proven with River Song, but I don't think he could with just a normal human aging companion, because he knows what will happen to them eventually. He even said it in School Reunion, the humans wither and die and he changes and he can never be with them. But yet still throughout the series, they do have interest in each other, which is, I think, one of the biggest letdown in the series, easily one of its biggest letdown. But if you take all the romantic interest stuff and put it out the window, then what we've got here is a really solid series, and I have rewatched it quite a few times. and yeah, it holds up quite well. But yeah, it is quite a good series overall. My favourite episodes would probably have to be Rise of Cybermen Age of Steel, and my least favourite, probably Fear Her. Just a bit dull, that's why. Moving on to our number 4 spot now, and I have put Series 3. Now, Series 3 for me is certainly a step up from Series 2. You are introduced right from the start to a really, really great villain, that being the Jazoon in the opening episode, Smith and Jones, which I think is easily one of the best episodes of the series by far. And in the series, you're also introduced to Weeping Angels, one of Doctor Who's most iconic villains nowadays, and the Family of Blood, which I think are an amazing one-off villain. I don't want to see them again, just because they were so good in that one story, and their arc has been completed. But the stories that let the series down, there are 2 of them, one of them being Gridlock by Russell T Davies, which brings back the Macra, not needed, quite wasted, and leads to quite a boring story overall. But my least favourite story is probably 42, written by Chris Chibnall, his first ever Doctor Who script, and I'm sure we all hoped that it was his last as well. I also got introduced to Martha Jones in this series, who I think is an absolutely incredible companion, but she is kind of overshadowed by the loss of Rose. The 10th Doctor is still going over the loss of Rose. It takes him kind of a whole series to get over it, so by the time the finale comes around, it's the end of the finale, and 10's finally over Rose, Martha's like, well, you're not treating me well, so I'm going to leave. Fair enough, fair enough, but I do at the same time wish we got to see more of Martha as a main companion. Of course, we got to see her in Series 4 and the end of time a little bit, but I do wish that we got to see just her and the Doctor a little bit more. Also, John Simm's Master, pretty solid Master in this, I'm not gonna lie, I do quite like him. So yeah, my favourite from this series would probably have to be Human Nature and Family of Blood, and my least favourite definitely 42, without a shadow of a doubt. I just despise 42 with every inch of my soul. In 3rd place, I have put Series 5, both Matt Smith's and Stephen Moffat's first full series on Doctor Who. Series 5 is Stephen Moffat's best series by far because it is so much more simple than any of his others. Less is more, and it really does prove in this series. The opening of the series, 11th Hour, is absolutely phenomenal, and I think it's easily up there as one of the best post-regeneration stories Doctor Who has ever had. It's good that they made it at least an hour long, because it really did need to be like that length. If it was squished into 40-45 minutes, it just wouldn't have hit the same. Of course, this series also introduces us to Amy and Rory, although Amy is the main part of this series and Rory is kind of pushed to the side a little bit. And even though Amy does have some kind of romantic interest in the Doctor for the first half of the series, it does get quickly overtaken, and she is back to loving Rory again, which I can easily forgive for. I can easily understand. The Weeping Angels return again in this series, in Time of the Angels and Flesh and Stone, and that's also when we see River Song again for the second time after David Tennant's Series 4 episode. And this series' finale as well, I absolutely love the Pandora Cobans and the Big Bang. It's such a clever idea of putting the past and the present and the future all together. It's such a Doctor Who-esque type finale that you'd think that people have already done it, but they haven't, and it's so good, and I absolutely love what this finale did. But an episode that I really like in this series that not a lot of people talk about, and I find it's quite underrated, is Amy's Choice. That's probably my favourite episode in the whole series, Amy's Choice. It's probably one of the first episodes of the series I've ever watched. It's got the Dream Lord, and it's revealed that the Dream Lord was kind of like a dark part of the Doctor, and the mystery around the Dream Lord still today is really good. I wouldn't really too mind having him back again in a future episode. My least favourite episode from this series, quite hard, I might have to go with The Beast Below, just because I can't remember too much about it. If not The Beast Below, probably Vampires of Venice, but I think almost every episode in the series is good. Also, Vincent the Doctor, I don't know how I haven't mentioned that yet. That's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal writing by Richard Curtis, who should definitely come back. The series that I put in 2nd place is Russell T Davies's and Christopher Eccleston's first and only series. Technically Christopher Eccleston after Russell T Davies, obviously, because he wrote 1 to 4 and then the specials as well. But anyway, I put Series 1. Series 1 for me was almost perfect. It introduced us to the 9th Doctor played by Chris Eccleston, who I think, well, as you saw from my ranking the Doctors video, I think he is one of the best Doctors ever. He's so unique and so doctory in a way. He really does just catch you when he comes on your screen, and he keeps you interested, whether it be for 45 minutes, whether it be for hours and hours on end when you're binge watching the series. He is phenomenal. The series also introduced us to Rose, who I think was far superior in Series 1 than Series 2, and I think she did work with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor a little bit better than David Tennant's. That's not saying, obviously, she wasn't good with David Tennant as well, it was just a romantic interest. And also Captain Jack as well was introduced in here. Adam, we don't talk about Adam, but he was also in here for, 5 minutes or so. And Murray Gold was introduced as the composer for music as well. It was a fresh new start and they did it absolutely phenomenally. First episode of the series, Rose, really good, really strong up into the series. End of the World, also good, pretty strong overall. Unquiet Dead, I find underrated, really, really good. Aliens in London, World War 3, amazing. I do think they're really, really, really underrated. I think people hate them too much. Amazing. Dalek, best episode so far. Incredible reintroduction to the Doctor's best villain. The Long Game, for me, the only bad-ish episode in the series. It's definitely let down by Adam, and thank God they drop him off. Father's Day, another underrated gem by Paul Cornell, and I don't know how to describe Father's Day, but I love it. I love it. I don't know why. It's just something about it. Every time I watch it, I just smile. Any Child of Dr. Dancer, Stephen Moffat's first script for Doctor Who. Creepiest thing I've ever seen, still, in so many years since I've watched it. Phenomenal. Boomtown, another underrated one, a bit like Love and Monsters. If you don't take it too seriously, it's fine. And then Bad Wolf and Partners Ways. Oh, the best of the series. I think the best of the series. Brilliant, absolutely amazing. My second favourite series finale. So yeah, least favourite, Long Game. Favourite, Bad Wolf and Partners Ways. No question in my mind, and I think it'll always be like that with the series 1. Amazing. But in first place, I put series 4. Has to be, let's be honest, it has to be series 4. Perfect, in my opinion, is what it is. Absolutely perfect. In my opinion, there is not one bad episode in Doctor Who. In my opinion, there is not one bad or baddish episode in this series of Doctor Who. There are some episodes that are stronger than others, of course, that's always going to happen. But I don't think there's any flat-out episodes that I will never watch again. Partners in Crime. Great reintroduction to Donna Noble, who is fantastic with David Tennant, by the way. Easily best Doctor companion duo in the new series. For Fires of Pompeii, my personal least favourite episode of the series, but still amazing, and I would give it like 7.5, 8 out of 10. Happily rewatch it. Planet of the Ood, the most underrated story in this series, in my opinion. Well, maybe. I will get into the next one. But I love this. I think this setting with the Ood works a lot better than when they were just slaves, because we actually get background to them, and I love it. Then the Sontaran 2-parter was very, very good as well. The reintroduction to Martha Jones. And then the Doctor's daughter after that, where the Doctor kind of gets his hand like in a thing and blood comes out and a daughter's there. Very, bit weird, but fun ride all along. And then I think the second most underrated story in this series, Unicorn and the Wasp. I think I probably rewatched that story the most out of all this series. Absolutely love it. And Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, our first introduction to the River Song. And the mystery is still strong in there, and you can't wait to find out who she is. And then Stephen Moffat leaves that obviously for his own writing in series 5. Midnight, which is like a very Doctor heavy story, and I think it works amazing the way it's set, just in a plane crash like on a planet where you can't go outside, otherwise like you'll be burnt or whatever it was. Amazing. And then Turn Left, Stolen Earth, Journey's End. Best finale for me in all of Doctor Who's new series. Easily for me, easily. I know it is like a bit of fanfare basically, but that's also why I love it, because it is for the fans basically. And Russell did so well putting this together, and he got Davros back as well with the Daleks. He made 2 Doctors, he got Rose back, he got everyone back, he got Sarah Jane back. Oh, it was brilliant. Words cannot express how much I love this finale. So yeah, series 4 in my mind, without a shadow of a doubt, is my favourite series in all of new Doctor Who. Easily. Yeah, like I say, these are only my opinions. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, and I'll see you for the next Doctor Who video, or maybe it'll be something else. It probably won't be something else, thinking about it. But yeah, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in a bit. Goodbye.